各位觀眾大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄。2022北京冬奧咧已經正式開幕啦。而冬季運動一直都係本國國民熱愛嘅活動，相信唔少人咧都會喺奧運期間關注到本國運動員嘅表現㗎。而喺芸芸眾多嘅項目之中，花式溜冰咧就係最具觀賞性嘅運動之一啦。不過，對於本國嘅花式溜冰選手嚟講究竟要經歷幾多嘅訓練以及比賽，先至有機會爭取到一個代表本國出戰奧運嘅名額呢？除咗奧運，佢哋仲要為啲乜嘢其他嘅目標而奮鬥啦？喺2年之前，我哋就訪問咗一位嚟自卑斯列治文嘅華裔花式溜冰新秀趙崇樂。當年14歲嘅佢已經喺國際舞台上有出色嘅表現。事隔2年，究竟佢目前距離奧運舞台又有幾遠呢
？4歲已經開始接觸溜冰嘅 Wesley 趙崇樂，自細就參加唔少本國花式溜冰比賽。當年14歲嘅佢就已經代表加拿大踏足國際舞台。
On the ice, representing Canada, Wesley Chu.
Well, this is the first Junior Grand Prix season and Junior Grand Prix event for Wesley Chu of Canada, 14 years old, 14th after the short program. He's coached by Keegan and Eileen Murphy, choreographed by Joey Russell. Skating the free program here in Italy in the final Junior Grand Prix to Casablanca.
喺當時，佢已經定奧運為佢嘅目標。
佢自己 mind 嘅高，佢一定係好想 Olympic 係佢自己嘅高。咁我亦都唔會阻止佢，如果佢有咁嘅能力或者去到呢一個嘅 level。
而當年 Wesley 嘅教練 Keegan 已經俾佢一個非常高嘅評價。
Definitely, I think he's promising. I mean, Wesley has changed and grown a lot over the last 7 years. I can't think of any 14-year-old boys in Canada that can do what he can do.
2年前至第一次參加國際溜冰聯盟青年組大獎賽嘅 Wesley 趙崇樂，喺呢2年之間，佢嘅花式溜冰生涯又行前咗幾遠呢？呢日下晝 ，Wesley 就照常咁喺列治文嘅 Oval 體育館進行訓練。喺幾日之後，佢就要參加一個非常重要嘅比賽。
Preparation has been going really well. I'm preparing for the 2022 National Skating Championships in Ottawa, Ontario.
今次將會係 Wesley 首次參加成人組嘅全國錦標賽，而能夠獲得今次嘅參賽資格，全因為 Wesley 喺舊年嘅青年組賽事入邊有住出色嘅表現。
Needs 120.68 to win this title. As he skates to I Belong to You by Muse.
喺2021年底 ，Wesley 喺國際溜冰聯盟青年組大獎賽嘅法國同埋俄羅斯分站取得1面金牌同埋1面銅牌。Wesley 就非常滿意呢個成績，並表示比起2年之前，佢有明顯嘅進步。
Yeah, I'm very proud of these accomplishments. It's definitely a huge improvement from 2019, which was my last ISU competition prior to that. And I came 13th at that competition, so the jump from 13th to 1st and 3rd is definitely a huge accomplishment that I'm very proud of.
我哋呢日就同 Wesley 重溫一啲2年前嘅訓練片段。當年嘅佢仍然喺度琢磨緊旋轉4周嘅跳躍技巧。
I'm confident with all my triples because I've learned them over the past couple of years, and right now I'm trying to get a quad jump, and Hopefully I can get one by the end of this year.
咁樣目前 Wesley 四周跳嘅技巧去到一個咩地步呢？
Now I'm able to successfully land the quad toe specifically, and I did it in 2 competitions actually in 2021, the end of 2021.
而事實上 ，Wesley 就係憑住完成呢個外點四周跳嘅動作，加上穩定嘅整體發揮，取得去年國際溜冰聯盟比賽嘅嗰一面金牌同埋銅牌。Wesley 表示，嗰一次係佢首次喺正式比賽入邊完成呢個動作，對佢嚟講係一個非常重要嘅里程碑。
Yeah, it meant a lot to me because, well, first of all, it was great motivation for me now that I know I'm capable of doing it in competition, but it's also made me eager to learn other types of quad jumps.
除咗跳躍技巧取得進步之外 ，Wesley 表示喺呢2年嚟，佢整體嘅溜冰技巧都變得更加成熟。
I think just my all-around skating, from the performance to the spins to my confidence on the ice. I think all of that has really grown and improved in the past few years.
而 Wesley 嘅教練 Keegan Murphy 亦都表示，喺呢2年期間，佢同教練團隊都見證住 Wesley 溜冰技術上面嘅成長，所以舊年比賽入邊 Wesley 出色嘅表現，亦都喺佢預期之中。
We knew it was possible. Obviously, COVID made things complicated, and we didn't know if these competitions were going to happen or if we would be allowed to travel internationally. But the way that Wesley had been training and for how well prepared he was, we knew it was something possible for sure.
喺2年前嘅訪問入邊 ，Keegan 俾咗 Wesley 極高嘅評價。2年過去啦 ，Keegan 對 Wesley 目前嘅能力又有咩評價呢？
I stand by that statement, yeah. And I would say that you can't find another 16-year-old in Canada, male figure skater, that can do what Wesley can do. So yes, I'm proud that I was right then, and I'm right now.
Wesley 能夠喺花式溜冰之中達到目前嘅水平，除咗本身嘅天分之外，更需要配合不斷刻苦嘅訓練。佢每個星期有6日要參加訓練。喺列治文 Oval 底層嘅訓練中心，可以見到啞鈴、TRX 同埋其他各種健身工具。呢度係訓練各種加拿大頂尖運動員嘅訓練中心。花式溜冰運動員嘅日常訓練，除咗冰上練習之外，大部分時間都係做體能同埋其他訓練。
They would be doing a stretch class once a week to work on their flexibility, a ballet class for sure, maybe learning to do some jumping on the floor, right? They would do maybe a Pilates class to work on their core strength.
Keegan 教練亦都表示，對唔少年輕花式溜冰選手嚟講，身體發育速度都會非常影響運動員嘅訓練進度。因為對花式溜冰嚟講，如果運動員突然長高，完成動作所需要用到嘅力量、技巧都會變得非常唔一樣。
But his growth has been very gradual, so we're very fortunate that he hasn't grown 4 inches at once. You know, that's helped a lot that he's not too tall. I don't think he'll be super tall, but the growth has been steady, which has allowed him to train in a consistent manner.
其實 Wesley 喺14歲嘅時候已經將參加奧運定為佢嘅目標。
Hopefully, maybe the 2022 one or 2026.
而2022年已經嚟到 ，Wesley 目前同佢嘅奧運夢又有幾近呢？其實 Wesley 參與嘅全國男子花式溜冰成人錦標賽，呢個比賽嘅成績會直接決定代表加拿大出戰北京奧運嘅選手權。
Yeah, so the qualifications for the 2022 Olympics in Beijing is based on our performances at the national championships in Ottawa.
Yep, so Canada can choose 2 male representatives to put on the Team Canada. And Wesley is on the long list as a possibility to be named to that team. It will most likely be chosen from the first place and the second place at the Canadian Championships.
Wesley 表示，其實能夠參加全國成人組比賽去競逐奧運資格，對佢嚟講已經係一個好大嘅成就。教練 Keegan 更加表示，只有喺成人組國際賽取得一定嘅分數，至可以有資格進入加拿大奧運隊嘅考慮名單。26歲嘅 Wesley 喺今次之前一直都只係參加青年組嘅比賽，因此喺舊年10月，加拿大溜冰總會更破例俾佢參加係波蘭嘅一個成人組別國際賽，等佢可以爭取足夠嘅分數進入本國奧運隊嘅考慮名單。
So, we went to the competition, and not only did he get the minimum scores, but he placed first in the free skate at that competition, which, that result was a big surprise. So he skated very well, and he got the scores that were necessary.
Wesley 表示喺全國賽入邊，希望能夠發揮佢所有嘅水準。
Considering it's my first year senior, I don't have too much expectations in terms of results for myself. I just mainly focus on what I can do and just doing it to the best of my ability. Everything beyond that is out of my control.
教練 Keegan 指出，以 Wesley 目前嘅表現嚟講，佢已經有能力代表本國出戰奧運。
Completely capable. Yeah, he's ready to go now. He'll be ready to go in 4 years. So, again, as his coaches, we've done our jobs in developing him both physically and psychologically. Now our mission is to bring him to the Canadian Championships and help him skate as beautifully as he can. We can't control what his competitors do, so we'll see where the dust settles.
究竟 Wesley 喺全國賽嘅表現係點？佢又會點樣努力實踐自己嘅奧運夢呢？我哋下一次翻嚟再睇。歡迎翻嚟節目時間。奧運係年輕運動員不斷奮鬥嘅目標。咁對於已經成功出戰奧運嘅選手嚟講，奧運喺佢哋嘅生涯之中係一個點樣嘅回憶呢？喺花式溜冰項目之中，目前已經退役嘅華裔溜冰運動員陳偉群就曾經多次喺奧運舞台為本國爭光。咁究竟喺獎牌嘅背後藏有幾多汗水以及訓練呢？咁而回顧佢嘅整個選手生涯當中又有幾多笑與淚呢？
My life has changed a lot. I think it's looking back now 4 years since my retirement. A lot of my life has changed. A lot of things.
陳偉群 Patrick Chan 係本國花式溜冰奧運獎牌得主，更曾經多次喺全國以及國際賽事勝出，包括連續10次取得全國賽金牌、3次世界花式溜冰錦標賽冠軍，以及3面嘅奧運獎牌。Patrick 回顧整個選手生涯嘅時候，佢指出喺全國溜冰賽連續10年稱霸，絕對係生涯中嘅巔峰時刻。而贏得多個國內同埋世界冠軍頭銜嘅 Patrick 指出，奧運會仍然係最難忘嘅比賽經驗。Patrick 第一次取得參選奧運嘅資格就係2010年溫哥華冬季奧運會，當年嘅佢只係得19歲。
I'm glad to be in Vancouver, and I'm glad to be done in the first weeks. Glad that I skated my best, and I didn't do the very best I wanted to, but overall it was still a great experience, and it's 5th place. Can't complain for a first Olympics.
12年過後，再次翻到嚟列治文 Oval 體育館，佢直言呢個係好奇妙嘅體驗。
We're sitting in the Oval now, like how many years later? 11 years later. It's 12 years later. It's quite amazing to see how big of an impact it had on me, and funny how that was just the very beginning. 2010 was 19. I thought I was going to win, and I was so confident, 19, cocky, and that was just the beginning, right? And there was so much more ahead of me. So in hindsight, I may have done things differently, but all in all, like the Olympic experience, there's nothing like it.
而喺4年後嘅2014俄羅斯索契冬奧會，Patrick 再次被選上代表加拿大參賽，而喺2屆奧運之間 Patrick 憑住贏得多個比賽，當年就已經成為炙手可熱嘅花式溜冰選手，更係加拿大隊中有望奪金嘅熱門人選之一。
Just going in as a favorite and having been world champion and kind of undefeated. I had won every international competition right up to the Olympics.
不過呢一屆奧運嘅結果，亦都係 Patrick 生涯入邊其中一個最困難嘅時刻。
Unfortunately, made one too many mistakes and came second. And unfortunately, we still have the Canadian curse. There hasn't been a male figure skater who's won Olympic gold. And I was this close. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that happened and you can never go back and change it.
雖然失落金牌，但係 Patrick 並冇任何嘅遺憾。
But I have no regrets either. I will tell you, it has not changed my life. I think my life I would be standing where I am if I had been Olympic champion or not. So I think that moment really was a hard moment. I was maybe 23 years old at that time, still young, immature. So at the time, I think I'm more embarrassed about like my behavior and like how I reacted to the result, and then how I composed myself. I think I wish I was a little more mature and took it less harsh, and just look at the big picture and remember how lucky I am to have gone to the Olympics and won a medal, because that in itself is already amazing.
喺當屆奧運，除咗個人男子銀牌之外，佢亦都為加拿大爭取到一面團體銀牌。雖然兩面嘅奧運銀牌已經係一個非常高嘅成就，但係 Patrick 提到喺佢生涯之中，其中一面最難忘嘅獎牌就係出現喺4年之後嘅2018年南韓平昌冬奧。2018年嘅時候已經係 Patrick 選手生涯嘅尾聲，佢嘅狀態亦都不如全盛時期。喺出戰奧運之前，佢更一度諗過放棄。
I knew going into 2018 it was my last time, my last performance, and I was no longer, the top number one going into those Olympics. I was in the bottom. I almost pulled out of those Olympics. I almost told the federation that I was gonna just retire right before, because I had really burnt out.
最後 Patrick 仍然決定參賽。佢當年參與嘅係花式溜冰團體項目，而呢個決定亦都為佢帶嚟意想不到嘅結果。
I really relied on the Canadian figure skating team to help me. Tessa Virtue, Scott Moyer, Eric Radford, Megan Duhamel, Caitlin Osmond. We all came together and really, as a team, we were number one. And so it was so hard for me to understand, like as an individual athlete, to understand to work as a team, we can get what I want, or what we want, an Olympic gold medal. And we did that. And I didn't have the best performance, but for the first time I felt like I could rely on my team to help me get the ultimate prize, right?
而 Patrick 就喺完成2018年平昌冬奧之後，亦都隨即宣布退役。佢表示喺決定退役之後，立即感到如釋重負。
Relief. I was so happy. I was so happy. Just, after how many years is that? Like, oh my God, 23 years of skating. It was time. It was time. And I was looking around at my fellow athletes, and they were all 10 years younger than me. I started as, in Vancouver 2010, I started as the youngest on the team, and then at the end I was the oldest, and I was almost like I was gonna like a mentor for the younger generation.
退役後嘅陳偉群生活上有好多新嘅開始。
I moved to Vancouver right after the Olympics in 2018. I got married in 2020, and then just had a baby in 2021, a son who's about almost 4 months old. So it's been a big shift, in life, and just growing up and moving on from the life I used to know. And then I've also just started recently just a career in commercial real estate.
雖然事業上有新嘅路向，但事實上，陳偉群喺世界溜冰舞台上所達到嘅成就，依然係唔少本地年輕花式溜冰運動員嘅目標。目前16歲嚟自列治文嘅花式溜冰運動員 Wesley 趙純樂就表示，佢自細就睇住陳偉群嘅比賽成長。
I would say at the beginning when I was first got into figure skating, it was definitely Patrick. He was kind of like the spotlight and the main one that everyone thought of when it came to Canadian figure skating. I think just the way he skates and performs is really amazing, and just the amount of accomplishments that he has had throughout his career is quite amazing to see and really motivates me to do the same.
至於 Wesley 又能唔能夠跟隨陳偉群嘅腳步成功出戰奧運呢？ Wesley 喺今年1月初參與嘅全國男子成人組花式溜冰錦標賽，呢個比賽嘅頭2名就好有可能被選為本國奧運代表。花式溜冰單人比賽又分為短項目同埋自由溜冰2個部分，運動員完成2個項目之後，會以2個環節嘅總分嚟排出名次。而 Wesley 當完成短項目嘅時候，佢嘅分數當時係排行第2名，只要喺自由溜冰環節保持名次就可以出戰奧運。而當時佢就知道奧運已經係喺觸手可及嘅距離。而 Wesley 嘅教練 Keegan 亦都讚揚 Wesley， 當時嘅佢並冇俾太多外在因素影響，能夠繼續集中喺賽事當中。
But being second after the short program, the psychology and the pressure, that can change everything for a young athlete. And so it was incredible to see Wesley handle that situation with such calm and mental fortitude.
至於 Wesley 喺自由溜冰嘅環節表現成點樣呢？
As it was happening with each element that he did in that long program, I just felt more proud and more proud and more impressed and more impressed. You know, you can give all the wisdom that you want to your athlete, but you don't know how they're going to use those tools until that situation happens. So I was immensely proud.
不過 Wesley 喺自由溜冰嘅環節出現咗幾個小失誤，最後只得到第3名，成為奧運後備名單入邊嘅第1人。雖然無緣今屆奧運，但係 Wesley 表示，第一次參加成人組賽事能夠得到1面銅牌，佢已經喜出望外。
I feel great about it. It was a cool experience competing against the top guys in Canada. And personally, I think I did really well at this event, and I'm very proud of what I did. My goal was more like to be in the top 5 or 6, so a bronze was definitely a bit of a surprise, but not impossible.
而退役溜冰選手 Patrick 陳偉群正正就係今次全國賽嘅評述員之一，佢又點評價 Wesley 同埋其他年輕選手嘅表現呢？
And we have great skaters here, especially here in Richmond. We have Wesley Chu, who just competed at the national championships this year, the Olympic qualifier, and finished 3rd. You know, and he did more quads than I did when I won nationals. So that just tells you the evolution and the change in the sport. The level of difficulty, the technical level in figure skating right now, in the girls, in the women's event, in the men's event, it's very high. And it's great to see. That's what we want to see as the sport grows. You want to see the level of difficulty grow as well. So it's really been fascinating to watch. I'm very grateful I'm not competing anymore because I would not be able to keep up and I would probably be, somewhere at the bottom.
雖然 Wesley 同今年嘅北京冬奧擦身而過，不過佢並冇因此而失望，而今次全國賽嘅經歷更加成為咗佢嘅強心針。
I think it's definitely gives me more confidence. I started this season in summer of 2021 with really strong skates, and I feel like I've been building on that with every competition, so I look forward to continuing to improve what I'm doing on the ice. It definitely required me to skate to the best of my ability, and it only motivates me more going into 2026.
無論對年輕花式溜冰運動員趙順樂，抑或多次出戰奧運嘅陳偉群，奧運對佢哋嚟講都有無法抵抗嘅吸引力。至於普羅大眾喺欣賞今年奧運花式溜冰項目嘅時候，可以留意啲乜嘢重點呢？ Patrick 陳偉群就表示，今年加拿大花式溜冰隊處於重建階段，爭奪獎牌嘅機會比較渺茫。不過就可以留意團體賽嘅發揮。
Maybe the team event they could maybe get a bronze medal. That's, I think, our best medal chance for Canada in figure skating is the team event. So we'll see. It's a very disjointed team right now. We have very young athletes and then very more experienced athletes.
Patrick 亦都指出，運動員喺疫情環境之下，仍然能夠取得奧運資格並成功參賽，已經係一件難能可貴嘅事。
This year, this is, Beijing 2022 is an Olympic Games that is not normal. It's so different than any other one. So it'll be interesting how the athletes will handle it. I know that they'll be prepared and they'll perform. I just feel bad for the athletes because it's just not the usual experience that they'll have.
好啦，今集嘅節目時間呢又差唔多啦。咁如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話呢，係好歡迎大家以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。咁如果觀眾想重溫翻今集嘅節目，亦都可以上到去我哋嘅網站點擊節目重溫一欄。下星期同樣時間再同大家見面，晚安。